I hope everyone have joined. So today we'll discuss principles of project management. So this is our topic. So what do you understand by principle? The word principle. Yes, students? Okay, fine. To achieve all of the project goals and objectives. Okay, good. What about others? Always Ankur and Jishan replied. What about others? Arey beta, give me your opinion. After that, we'll start with our topic. Yes? Essential steps. Okay. Essential steps for what? Question is question is that what is the meaning of principle? As we will discuss our today's topic, that is principles of project management. We all know what are principles, but I just want to know according to you what is the basic definition of principle. As Ankur said that rules, key points and basic structure, fine. And Muhammad Tawhid Alam to achieve all the project goals and objectives. And Shubham's answer is essential steps. Essential steps to complete the task or achieve our goal. Fine. So Piyush, okay, project structure, fine. And Abhishek, base of management on which management stands. Okay. The steps to follow along with rules. Fine. Good. So we have around 8 to 9 principles of project management. Fine. So first of all, we have structure, project sponsor, goals and outcomes, management of project changes, risk management, value delivery capabilities, performance management baseline, and communication. Communication between all team members at any particular stage or any particular phase of the project. Fine. So first we have what are the principles of project management. So principle can be defined as an underlying fundamental law or concept as we have already discussed. So therefore the principles of project management are the fundamental rules that should be followed for the successful management of the project. Fine. So the project management book of knowledge doesn't currently contain an official list of principles for successful projects. However, project management Index annual Pulse survey can help highlight what principles successful project management managers and companies are following. So this is the basic definition. Now we'll discuss one by one different principles. So our first principle is formal structure. You can say it's architecture, its design, fine. So formal structure is our very basic and first principle. So it is important for projects to have uh, determine customers and the values. Abhishek, what are you talking about, beta? Okay, okay, fine. So where I was, so it's an important for projects to have formalized structure, including processes. First is processes, then procedures and tools. So here we have term tools. What are tools according to you? What do you understand by tools in project management? In formal structure, we have processes, procedures, and tools. We know what are processes, the we can say programs, the projects, anything that is in process, in execution detail to do lists like plan structures, dashboards, fine, okay. So procedures, we can say methodologies, and now we have question that what are tools? Yes, anyone else? Things for following the procedures, okay, fine, good, Shubham. Okay, tools are the things, the we can say different diagrams, different software, different hardwares, everything that helps us to uh, complete our task from very scratch to the final stage. Anything that we use to ease of work, to complete the task easily is considered as tools. If we are talking about our DFDs, if I talking about the control structures, if I talking about the Gantt charts, if I talking about the different platforms where we implement our project, fine. All these things are considered as tools. Fine. So if you have ever tried to complete a project without a formalized structure, what will happen? You know how hard it can be to control it and provide it with the attention it deserves. If we don't have any plan to complete the task, then it will take long time. It will be more costly. Fine. So we cannot complete our task efficiently and within the time. So a project should have both a project charter and project plan. So as well as a designated project team. So this helps ensure it is prioritized and managed successfully. So our second principle is project sponsor. So an effective project sponsor is critical to the success of a project. So sponsors are there to champion your project and to be a spokesperson for it with the other executives. So strong sponsor can help overcome roadblocks such as the loss of a key resource. So having an engagement sponsor makes it easier to communicate progress, escalate issues, and guide stakeholders through decision-making processes. So we already discussed that what are stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people, those are, we can say, working on the final products. These can be within a project team, these can be within an organization or outside the organization. Fine. So this is a project sponsor. And third principle is goals and outcomes. We all know what are goals and outcomes. If these things are decided in the very first phase of the project development, then it will be easy to achieve these kind of goals. And if we know what will be the outcome, then we work on the very state things, that what things we, what tools we choose and what methodologies we use to create this kind of outcome. So without clear requirements and approval criteria, it will be difficult to tell if a project is a success or not. So requirements and approval criteria should be clear in very first stage. For example, you may think you produce software that does everything that was requested. So only to have the customer or end user complaint, you left out critical component. Right? So the most common factor behind failed projects is a lack of clear goals. If we don't clear what are our goals, we cannot produce an efficient and good product. A project requirements and approval criteria should be all determined and documented at the beginning of the project. So it's important to ensure these are reviewed and approved by all the key stakeholders, including the sponsor and the customer, so that there should not any confusion in future while developing the different phases of the project. Next we have roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibility of each and every person in the project team. Fine. So there are two forms that should be used for documenting and defining the roles and responsibilities of everyone involved with the project. So for project team members, we have a RACI or RASCI is used to define responsibilities and expectations. So what does it mean? That is RASCI. So its full form is R is for responsible, A is for accountable, S is for sign of authority, and C is for consulted, and I is for involved. So these are very easy words. You can understand the concept. First is responsible. In the team, which person is responsible for what kind of work? The work is divided into each and every person in the project team. So responsibilities are divided, roles of each and every person is um, decided at very first stage. So second is accountable. What do you understand by accountable? Yes, class, what do you understand by accountable? Responsible, okay. But this Shibam Bharat responsible, responsible for everything. Explainable, fine. If a person is assigned with a particular role and responsibility, then time to time he or she will be accountable. According to his responsibility, the work assigned is checked. Fine. So this is comes under accountable. Next is sign of authority. Sign of authority is the person who signed the documents, we can say, or the manager, or the CEO of any organization, that is sign of authority, who has the authority to sign the documents. Next is consulted. In project team, there are some person who is consulted for the different opinions, different ideas, and his valuable points that matter for the efficient work of the project. And last one is involved. Each and every person in the team is involved. The responsibilities, the roles, the tasks of the project management or the project that they are developing. Fine. So till now, if someone have any doubt, then please ask. Higher students, answer the poll. All right, so there is no doubt. So let's proceed with the next principle, that is management of project changes. So project needs to have a well-defined scope to ensure the outcome meets customer expectations as discussed in the goal section. Fine. So the outcome of the software product is should meet the expectations of the customer. Fine. So without strong change management, a project could suffer from scope creep, which is when the scope of the project gradually grows beyond the initial project guidelines. For example, team members or stakeholders may want to add additional features into the product. But if you don't carefully control changes, you could end up with a really great product that costs twice and expected and is delivered 6 months late. So there should be management while you are changes anything in the project. Fine, because it can happen that the customer may add some features uh, in the project that he assigned to a developer. Fine. Maybe his requirement is increased by any module. So if there is no management for the changes in the project, then it may take much more cost to implement that change and take a long time for the submission of the product. So next is risk management, and you already studied this concept while in software engineering. So since we cannot execute project in bubble, they all face some risk. After all, a risk is simply an unexpected event that impacts your project. So it can be good or bad, and it can affect your resources, technology, or processes. So what is risk? Basically, risk is unexpected event that impact your project. So in order to minimize or eliminate the impact that risk will have on your project, it's important to manage risk. So this includes identifying, evaluating, and monitoring risk at each and every phase from the start till the end. So we can say as we use agile methodology, and the checking for the risk is monitor at each and every cycle of the agile. Fine. So as well as deciding upon action plans and to implement if risk occurs. Fine. So we should identify, evaluate, and monitor risk at each and every stage of the project development. Next is value delivery capabilities. Basically, value delivery capabilities is related to the efficient product or valuable product that we hand over to our customer. So your value delivery capabilities are simply your tools, project tools, processes, and procedures that help you deliver value to your customer. So this can include your project systems such as your scheduling software. So it may also include your processes such as using an agile project methodology. Fine. So the more mature your processes and procedures are, the more likely your project will be success. For example, if you have established and tested approaches for delivering successful software projects, you will be better equipped than if you are starting from scratch. So the scheduling software and processes are included in it, and what methodology you're using. All these things, the value of the software product is depending upon all these things. And next we have performance management baseline. So projects typically have three basic components. What are these components is cost, schedule, and scope. So these are the basic components of project. So each of these components should have a baseline or plan. Plan for the cost, plan for the schedule, plan for the scope, right? That performance can be measured against. When these baselines are integrated in a combined module, so it's called a performance management baseline. So combinedly, all these components are called performance management baseline. So this means that when you have a change in any one of the components, change in the cost, change in the schedule, change in the scope, its impact will be reflected in the other two as well. If there is some change in the cost, it will change schedule and scope. The effect is reflected in these components. Fine. All these are depending upon each other, we can say in simple words. And last principle is communication, and this is very essential and very important principle we can say. So if you have worked in project management for a while, you may have heard and saying that project management is 90% communication. If you're working in team, then communication is very essential principle. So the success of a project requires communication of the project activities, risk, issues, and status of the project. So both within the project team and with the other stakeholders. So we will time to time, have meetings, have some communications with our project team, with our client, with our stakeholders, with our testing team, with our managers. Fine. So communication is important for a variety of reasons, including the following, and reasons are keeping stakeholder engaged, coordinating tasks and schedules, decision making and problem solving, identifying and resolving conflicts, any kind of conflicts related to the budget, related to the different methodologies, related to the availability of each and every person in the team, right? So both within the outside of the project. Last one is escalating risk and issues. So this is all about the concept, that is principles of project management. Okay, fine students. Answer the question. Very simple question, that what is the full form of TQM?